Hey X2, hello, welcome. Ah, so yeah, the stream today starts with us updating macOS, I guess. Also, I don't understand what's going on here. The download is supposed to be 8 gigabytes. We have 200 megabytes. The progress bar shows that we're 1/3 of the way almost. Well, no, we're at 1/3 of the way. That should be something like 3 gigabytes, but we're like, uh, are they divided by 10 by mistake with this number, or is this multiplied by 10 by mistake? What the fuck is going on? So you might be wondering, like, vinyl disc scratch sound. You might be wondering how I got myself in that situation. Well, long story short, to get my stuff to work correctly on Linux, I updated this bad boy. Man, look at these fucking bugs. So I updated this guy here, and it's jank. It's like jank as fuck. VMware Fusion, the new VMware Fusion. So I'm updating also macOS because maybe this VMware Fusion isn't great and it's buggy because of reasons. Also, this website is a disaster. You know what? Maybe I should just go to a older version. All products. My downloads. Free software. I've always had Linux. Then VMware Fusion. This is the one that I got. Maybe this one is jank. Maybe I should go to 0.2. I don't know. Also, this website is a disaster. So you want to download, you can't. It tells you that you can't, and then you see, and then you think, wait, why the fuck can I not download this free software? Well, it turns out that first you have to agree to terms and conditions, but you want to check this, but you can't. That also is disabled, so you have to click term and conditions. Wait, opening it in another tab isn't enough. Okay, you have to left click on that thing. That allows you to check this, which then you can't uncheck, but then you can download. So the heck is going on? So let me shut down this stuff. Close this. Close this. Let's install this one. Now watch it refuse to install because it's slightly older. Did it install for real or? About 0.2. Okay. Is this one better? Also, for some reason, my mouse changes depending on, it changes its size dramatically depending on where it is. That's a thing, I guess. Does the network work? Oh, now the network works. So version 3 was had the network just not work. Okay, cat test slash async dot zig. Can we scroll? We can scroll. Okay. It does not seem too buggy. Maybe we can work with this. So you know what? Oh no, where's my mouse? It's invisible? What? You know what? We can do that at another point in time. This works. So fuck it. Just roll with it. Lobsters is cooking today. Yeah, I saw that people were making fun of Andrew. Oh man. That is an interesting point though. That is an interesting discussion. I'm not saying that this discussion is being had in an interesting manner on the website. I don't think it really is. There's like just a handful of comments, but it's overall funny. So basically, for people that don't know what's going on, so there was an OpenZFS bug, and Andrew said, and there was this blog post about it, and the bug is very stupid. Basically, you're supposed to return p size. Like this whole thing is supposed to compute p size, but then a size gets returned, and that's the bug. Like this is a size something a size to p size. Well, we're not really doing it. So that's a problem. So Andrew ported the code to Zig, but when you port the code to Zig, you tend to not do mutable variables unless there's a reason to do that. And while I'm not saying that I would necessarily port all the code in the exact same manner that Andrew would, it is fairly normal to not have random mutable vars in Zig if you don't need them. So you would not replicate this style. And in fact, he did not. And by not doing that, like that transformation, so he has transformed the code, but with that transformation, he catches the error using Zig format. So it's not even like the compiler doesn't even have to run. It's the auto formatting tool that catches the bug, which is pretty funny. But then, yes, he has applied a transformation. It's not a one-to-one port. At the same time, nobody writes Zig code like this. I would argue maybe nobody should write C code like this either, even. But in any case, you certainly do not write Zig code that way. So basically, he made this blog post, and people said, "Well, yeah, but you changed it. It's not the original one. If you had used var and if you ported everything one to one, format would not have caught the error." And so your point is wrong. So yeah, the whole discussion ensues, and then people basically convince Andrew to add another compile error to Zig. So where's that discussion? Oh god. Somewhere there's a discussion that I definitely scrolled past. There we go. So here, where basically people are saying, well, you know what? If you have a local variable and you assign to it, but then you never take a pointer and you never return it, well, then guess what? Your side effects to that variable are no ops, which looks like which smells like a bug. So some people were saying that other compilers, I don't know if it's other languages or some clever C compilers that can do this. I'm guessing other languages, or C probably has some, I don't know, third-party tooling that maybe can, like linters and stuff, that can check for this stuff. But the point is, basically, Andrew is now looking to add checks for what I just described. If you mutate a local variable, you never take a pointer from it, and you don't return it, and then it's going to be a compile error. I think the way I'm describing this logic is probably not fully correct. I suspect that there might be some more nuance to it, but you get the rough idea. In any case, so this happened, and then somebody said, well, you know what? Let's make a joke. Let's be clever. And so they are saying, yeah, look at me. I'm gonna port the OpenZFS bug back to C. So they take Andrew's C code, they rewrite it in C using his style, using consts everywhere. And then it turns out that if you use consts, then it does get caught by the compiler. They don't show the exact invocation. They should have shown the invocation. But it seems that the compiler catches it. So, yeah. I mean, Neurosite, you are right, but I think MLAG was, I think, saying that there are some other things to keep in mind. Also, it's possible that they were not just going for the very general definition, but maybe they also wanted to have a thing where, you know, maybe you mutate a variable and then you read from it, but then you mutate it again and then you don't do anything anymore. And so that also maybe should be considered an error. But as you can see, it's a more complicated situation than just never reading the value even once. So it's, I don't know, it's something more nuanced. But I don't know which way they want to go. Or so something like this, though. In any case, a reasonable rebuttal, I guess. And so, yep. So it gets caught and nailed it. And this also, it's parroting Andrew's blog post structure, which is kind of funny. In any case, and then people commented on it a little bit, got PC a little bit at sometimes at these posts, sometimes at the one from Andrew, whatever. What a story. What a story. In any case, so we're not updating MacOS anymore because this setup is good enough for now. Let's see if we can actually do everything that we need to do. So Command D, Command N. A new release of Oh My Posh is available. Run Oh My Posh upgrade. Oh My Posh upgrade. Major upgrade. Use upgrade force. You know what? I'm actually good. I just realized that I'm actually good. Command Shift D, Command N. Let's size this appropriately. There we go. Borg start. There we go. We have Borg. Font size. None of the font sizes does anything. We need to. Maybe go a little bit lower. We go a little bit upper. Oh, maybe it's the width. Well, I mean, that's pretty much where we are. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Borg. Borg, give me a. No, this is too small. This is too big. I guess this is okay, but it's just not perfectly balanced. There's a little bit of. Oh no, it's switching me early. This is bugged as fuck. My god, why did they do this? Now I can't go up. Now I can't go further north than this. This is my upper limit. What? Why? Oh, now I can go a little bit more. Come on, man. You're almost there. VMware Fusion is... yeah, I don't know what it's doing. Not good things, though. Now, out of curiosity, what if I do settings? Keyboard and mouse, but no, I don't want this. Virtual machine settings. So I was playing with this. There's a where is it? General gaming, always optimized for game mode. There's also auto detect. And so without this, scrolling is broken. Like I scroll, but it doesn't scroll. It misses out on scroll events. With this, always optimize, scrolling works now correctly. But then it has all these weird behaviors with my mouse. And it's kind of weird. Also, what is going on, dude? Man. VMware Fusion is not doing a good job. I guess I do need maybe to update my macOS. I guess we'll see. In any case, so what do we have on the plate today? Continue the development of Zine. We're done porting to new WriterGate, mostly. We have just some tiny cleanup stuff. We have to try out the new green thread implementation for ARM64 that Andrew has just added. That one supports ARM64, but Linux only, because it supports the architecture for stack swapping, but it doesn't have integration with OS APIs other than IO ORing, which you don't have on macOS. So there's that. And I would say these are the two main things today. Also related to this, by the way, for people who were sad that they weren't able to get the latest and greatest Zig unstable builds, we fixed it. We fixed master branch. Check this out. We now have successful builds on master branch. Long story short, oh, this is just for risk V. Never mind. This one is a success. So long story short, risk V has a slow runner. And what was happening is that all the CI runs on master branch were, well, except this one, but normally they were failing on risk V stuff. So for example, take a look at this one. Everything was fine, and then risk V would time out or poop itself one way or another. So for now, risk V has been moved to a different CI so that the main CI can succeed. And when that succeeds, it triggers tarballs. Tarballs are written by the website, well, are created by the website, www.zlang.org. So if you go to the website repository, you can see that now we are happily building tarballs. And in the past, we have been not building tarballs because there were no new tarballs to build. There were no successful runs. The last time was a few days ago, and it took, so this one took 4 hours. This one took 9 hours, and then it timed out. It got canceled. So it was timing out real hard. This one went fine. Does it usually take 4 hours when it succeeds? No, not at all. Holy shit. 18 hours. Really? 19 hours. Really? 16 hours. 4 hours. What happened? Four hours, 18 hours. What? 9 hours for 1 day, 1 hour. What? 16 hours. What is going on? Oh, the 4 hour ones, are they all canceled? Oh, this one was canceled. So the 4 hour ones are all failures. Okay, the only successful one are 16 hours. This one succeeded in 2 hours. How? Oh no, this one lied. Yeah, versions are equal, nothing to do here. Yeah, GitHub lied. This one took 15 seconds, not 2 hours. The fuck is it saying? 21 hours 2 weeks ago. Oof. Okay, 16, only 16 hours. Actually, building tarballs took only 16 hours. Everything else was a lie. That is a lot of time, isn't it? So we have a building tarballs job, but that one has been running for only 4 hours, so it's not even 1/4 of the way in. Ouch. Yeah, compiling. Yeah, see you next. See you tomorrow. uh, Jesus. I think that there are, well, some of what has made tarballs slower to build recently is this. Let's see, download. We have new architectures that we didn't have before. So I think we had this one. We had this one. Linux ARM, we did have. RISC v64, I think we did have. PowerPC 64 LE, I'm not sure. Maybe yes, maybe no. x86, I think we did. Long Arch is new, and 390X is new. And then FreeBSD also is new as a whole. Or rather, it's not new. Like we did have builds for FreeBSD from time to time. But only x86 64, you can see here. And now we have, well, a bunch. ARM64, PowerPC Little Endian, RISC V on top of everything, and then NetBSD. Wait, we didn't have NetBSD ever at all. So there's also NetBSD. So we're making more releases than in the past. Still, it does take a ton of time. Who uses PowerPC now? I don't know. I think there might be some, embedded devices that have some PowerPC stuff. Also, maybe some mainframes. I think there are some mainframes that have PowerPCs, but I don't know which ones, so I might be wrong. So I might be absolutely, totally wrong about this. Okay. End of story. What are we gonna do now? GameCube and Wii. That is a good point indeed. Yes. That is a good point. Okay, so check this out. CD test async.zig. So I built no. Yes, and then this. I'm in the async await demo Arch64 branch, and well, let's also do this then. And zig1 run async.zig. It runs, so maybe I should show what the test code did. So the test code is running the green thread, the fiber-based event loop, and it's calling calculate sum twice, and calculate sum has some sleeps in it, but then we sleep a bit and then we cancel them. So let's not cancel them anymore. See what happens. So, and ping. Wait, why are you suggesting ping another? Oh, because the command that I just ran failed. Okay. Well, we ran it and it works. And it spams us with a bunch of debug printing. So let's go maybe take out that debug printing. IO event loop. Log.debug. Remove this. Remove this, remove this, remove this, remove this, remove this, remove this. Yeah, I can change the log level, but my application also had that, so. But there we go. Now it works and it doesn't spam anymore. And that's cool because it worked with green threads. So if we put that back in, why is it telling me ping? Why is it suggesting ping? Why is this motherfucker stuck on ping? Like, I just ran zig1 and it succeeded. Why is YouTube Chop bugged? already. No, sorry, no. This board doesn't show Twitch chat. Sorry, this one does. This one does. Sorry. Let's see, what were people saying? Sorry. Hey, I read your blog about async last night. Nice. It's coming to Zig. So as I understand, if you want to inform that something is async await able, you should pass IO as params. No, you pass IO if you want to do IO. IO is just a normal argument that you need to have if you want to do IO. IO by itself doesn't imply any form of asynchronicity. It's just the thing that you call, it's just the thing, it's just a resource, like an interface that you need if you want to print, if you want to read files and stuff. Everything has to go through IO. You know what? Maybe I can enable YouTube chat in here. Let me see. So we're gonna spend some time in here. Oh, you know what? No, I'm gonna keep YouTube chat open on my other computer, and so I'm gonna read your chat messages on YouTube from there. What is the difference between positional and streaming in the new writer reader? Positional is for stuff like files that have, you know, a file is big, and then you seek to a given position, and then you read from it, that kind of stuff. While other things are streams where they, you know, they don't have an absolute position inside of them. But to await, you need to pass IO. Yes, you do. Because awaiting is something that is handled by the IO interface. But the point is that the IO interface, yes, it also does async. But when you say, so your statement was, if you want to inform that something is async awaitable, you should pass IO as params. Not exactly. You pass IO to anything that wants to do IO. And then through IO, you can also do async await. But let's say that I'm writing a perfectly normal, like, you know, super sequential blocking function, connect, I don't know, connect DB. I want to connect to a database, right? Maybe I should have, like, I don't know, I return a DB connection. I'm making this stuff up on the fly. So I want to do this. Well, I want to connect to a socket, right? So I believe that this part of the interface, the std.net code has not been converted yet to the new system. But the way it will work is that if you want to connect to IO, then you will do connection equals std.net I don't know, TCP connect to host. And this guy will take an IO parameter and everything else that it accepts here. So an allocator, I don't know, google.com, whatever, and then port 80 or 90 or, sorry, 90 or whatever. So that's how you do it. And then maybe you do con.write hello, and then you read a reply. Something, by the way, this is pseudocode, I'm making it up, but you get the idea, right? It doesn't matter. You will still have to accept an IO parameter. You still need to do this. This will not change. Let's see. This might mean that opening a socket might also require to pass std.io. It 100% does. Yes. Opening a socket will require std.io. We want to eventually have another socket API like socket 2 of Rust. I have no idea what's going on with Rust, but this thing is going to take over everything. Like the old system, the old API is completely going away, and everything will be fully replaced with the IO system. So everything will have to go through IO. Some things will be methods on IO. So you will do IO.something. Some other things will be still in like std.net, for example, but then they take an IO parameter. So you don't access the function from IO, but that thing will internally use IO. That's it. Then sure, IO is also in charge of concurrency, and it will orchestrate stuff if necessary, if running in one of these modes. But the point is that IO is not for async functions. IO is for doing IO at its core. You will still use it in absolutely completely blocking sequential code. Okay, I hope that this has answered people's questions. By the way, if anybody has more questions, feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer. Although I would say, please do read the blog post. Go to christoph.it, look at the latest blog post, read it if you haven't, because it contains a ton of information so that I don't have to repeat myself forever. I understand that I will have to repeat myself to some degree. I understood that when I pressed the start streaming button this morning, and even before then, but still, help me help you. Example, Coxsum is awaitable, but doesn't have any knowledge of wait. Any function is awaitable. Any function, a function that doesn't take IO is also awaitable if you want. Function banana, I don't know, and it takes no arguments. It returns nothing, and all it does is, I don't know, you know what? Let's say that it does return something, because then otherwise, what the fuck does this function do? Let's say that it returns a usize, and internally it does, I don't know, thinks real hard, and then it returns 0. This is still a function that you can do io.async banana. So you can still call that function in an async manner. Well, modern result, I should say, const future. And that gives you the future that then you can await. Also, I think the future needs to be mutable. I think you have to do var equals future dot await. So banana is just a normal function. It doesn't need IO because it doesn't do any IO. Maybe it does some computation. So imagine that it does, I don't know, Fibonacci of I don't know, 1,000 or something. It returns it, and then you await. So you might be asking, wait, what does this mean? So what does doing async on this function mean? It depends on the IO implementation that you're running at this time. So if you're running a green thread model, then what io.async will do, most likely, it is not guaranteed that it will do it because of the contract of io.async, but it will most likely take banana, run it on a different thread, create a green thread for it, schedule the green thread on a OS thread, and make it run. And then it will continue executing your code. And if you immediately have an await, then you will block immediately. But, you know, normally if you're doing this kind of stuff, it's because you want to do other stuff in the middle. So you will be doing other stuff. If you're using a multi-threaded implementation, then it will literally run this function on another thread. So no weird green thread fiber shenanigans. It will just run this on another thread. If you're using stackless coroutines, which are currently not available, they are not guaranteed to go back in the language. They will need to be implemented. They haven't been implemented yet, but let's assume that they are going to be present. Probably it will happen, but we don't know for sure. But let's say that they will be they will be available. Then what this io.async will do is actually it depends, I guess, because I'm guessing the stackless coroutines system will still have thread pool, so this will probably end up running in another thread, just in a more funny way. But that's kind of it. Or sorry, one less important version. Let's say that you're running in single threaded mode, blocking IO. Well, actually the IO model doesn't matter much at this point, but let's say that you're running in single threaded mode. Then io.async will run banana immediately. io.async will immediately run banana to completion, put the result in future, and then here, when you do await, you will be able to grab that number. And so there will be no concurrency whatsoever going on. You just do things linearly. That's also a possibility. So far, the only thing I couldn't understand is how to implement a custom table for SED.io from the ground up. Say I want to use IO ORing underneath. Surely I'm in need of accessing functions like resume and yield. No, you don't. That is wrong. IO ORing doesn't require you to use resume and yield. Also resume and yield in Zig lingo. So Zig doesn't have yield. And yield, I guess we call it suspend. I guess yield usually is suspend, but also return a value. We only had suspend, which does not return a value. In any case, I get what you're saying, but this does not apply to us because the resume and yield are primitives for stackless coroutines. We are not doing stackless coroutines. We are doing, well, in this case, for example, we're doing green threads. But for simplicity, let's assume they were doing a thread pool. We're doing multi-threading. If you're doing multi-threading, there is no suspend and yield. There's scheduling things on a thread, sending the thread to sleep, and waking it up with a mutex and a condition variable inside of a wait. So resume and yield, they don't exist right now in the language at all. Let's see. I found the implementation for yield in Async I demo branch, but it's not exposed. Implemented as a private function. There should be a mechanism to pause the execution and resume it from where it lets off. No? Yes, but it depends on the implementation, right? I guess you could say that they should have this generic name, like you call yield whatever thing to stop the computation. But let's talk about it in concrete terms. In the thread pool implementation, it's I don't know what is it. Is it thread to sleep? Maybe it's called the thread.yield. Let's take a look. Thread pool. Yield, there's no yield. Suspend, there's no suspend. I think that might still be a keyword, so it wouldn't be called suspend. But you know, there's a function, there's a syscall that you can call on a thread to put the thread to sleep. It has a name. Let me think about it for a moment. It wouldn't be here. It would be in a wait. No, it would be here, but it would be in a wait, right? That's what a wait does. Wait and free. Go to definition. Here we go. This is your yield. Your yield is closure reset event.wait. It's using a OS primitive because it's a thread. So the thread goes to sleep and waits to be woken up by the reset event. The yield is event loop.zig. Sure. But because that is implemented in a different way. So this is your yield. Like in thread pool, this is your yield. My point is that these operations change and they depend on exactly how you're implementing the runtime executor. So the concrete IO implementation. So in multi-threaded, like with a thread pool, pausing a computation is literally calling reset event or wait. It's putting the thread to sleep using OS APIs and then using, again, OS APIs to wake it up. And these are syscalls that the OS gives you. Like inside here, inside reset event.wait, oh man, there's some comp time indirection, so it's not immediately obvious which implementation we're using, but this literally calls syscalls in the OS to stop the thread. And stopping the thread is a form of yielding in a sense. So here's how it works here. Let's take a look at event loop then. Event loop. Oh, there we go. Here's a yield. What does yield look like? Let's take a look. No definition found. Okay. Function yield. Let's see. Looks at the current thread. Context, switch message, context switch with message, previous ready, pending task. Interesting. I don't understand immediately how this works, but I think I get the gist. Context switch is stack swapping. So we're basically we're saying we are using the current OS thread and we stop running the current list of function calls, right? The current stack. We stop executing this current stack. We pause it, though. We do save it in memory. We save the state of the CPU. We save everything in memory. And then we jump to something else. That something else, I'm guessing, is the main function. Like it's the main worker function for the event loop. Which I don't know what it's called. it's probably called something like run worker, something like this. Schedule idle. Idle. Okay. There we go. So this is the main thing that I guess waits for new things to do. And while waiting for new things to do, like one way in which you can wait for things to do is by waiting on erroring to do things. Yeah, it's waiting basically for new stuff from IOring. So that's the general idea. Okay. So this stuff works and it's cool. You know, what would be interesting at this point is that is to see this implementation, like here, event loop, and see if we can add support for macOS. So in the support for macOS, let's imagine that we want to do support for macOS. So how does it work? It has to change from the init function, right? So let's see. Actually, let's see what data it has inside. It has an allocator, main fiber buffer, list of threads, something detached. So this is a list of things that are like things running in detached mode, I guess. It has some IO-ring settings and thread. I'm guessing, is this a representation of this? Wraps a OS thread, context, idle context, current context, ready queue, IO-ring to do. So macOS version would probably not have IO-ring. It would have instead something that connects to KQ. I guess fibers would still be the same. It seems that fibers do not concern themselves with IO-ring much. Yeah, so basically it would have some handles to some open, I don't know, file descriptor to KQ, and then it would use KQ functions instead of IO-ring functions, basically to do, roughly speaking, the same thing. That's the idea. But as you can see, there's a bunch of like handling of things. So you first would need to learn exactly why these things are on this way. Wait, why is my mouse not able to go further than that? God damn it. VMware Fusion, why are you like this? The weirdest freaking bug. Holy shit. There's one IO-ring per OS thread, so it depends on where Mac wants you to allocate resources. That is a good point. I think that with with KQ you don't make multiple ones. I think you make only one. Well, I guess it's up to you to decide what you want to do. But I do suspect that you normally just make one. Might be wrong though. I might be wrong. In any case, yeah, because KQ is different, right? IO-ring is mainly based on you modifying your own memory and then the OS snooping at it, while KQ is a syscall. Everything that you do is a syscall, so you don't gain much by creating multiple. I think you create some type of file descriptor that represents your queue, but in any case, you go through syscalls anyway, so it doesn't matter. Might be wrong though. In any case, so we have also green threads working on ARM, which is awesome. And so Z1 run async. Oh, now we did the cancel thing, so it cancels stuff. That's cool. And now I can switch also back and forth between thread pool, green threads, and it works the same, and it doesn't matter. Now here's something I want to try. I'm gonna go using the Zig. So maybe I'll show everything. So let's say that Actually, maybe we can do this statically. So let's say that we're running this. And then in consumer run, as we're running, actually, no, it's calc sum that we want to do, right? So yeah, calc sum. It keeps sleeping. But what I want to do is if sum equals, I don't know, 100, which numbers do we give it? 100, 0, 100, and then 100 to 100. Okay, let's see. If sum equals to 100, then we break point. We also use the loop to wake up other threads waiting on their loop. Yeah, so it wouldn't really work with one loop for all threads. Let's see if people are saying something on YouTube. So async and the wait function is part of the IO interface. Yes, correct. Then it will be executed based on what the implementation used, thread pool, maybe, or just simple blocking calls. Correct, yes. Why doesn't Future hold a reference to IO it was created on? It could. There is I'm gonna say nothing that prevents it from being able to do so. The reason why this doesn't happen is because you save 8 bytes that way. By not storing a pointer to the future, you save 8 bytes. Which might not seem much, but when you have a ton of futures flying around at the same time, 8 bytes means that you can have more of those before you start exhausting system resources. Again, might not sound super convincing, but don't think about like a random, crappy, simple baseline software. Think about something more complicated, something like a video game or like, video editing, where everything is resource intensive. Saving 8 bytes is not a bad idea. That's the kind of thinking that got Zig from Zig originally, in its original C++ implementation, required more than 4 gigabytes to compile the compiler. So you wanted to compile Zig, you needed a machine that had more than 4 gigabytes. And that sucks, especially because, 4 gigabytes is a special number. That's what separates 32-bit systems, embedded devices, tiny Raspberry Pis from bigger computers. And now Zig takes way less than that. I think last I checked was like about 2 gigabytes of memory. And so now Zig can be compiled on a Raspberry Pi if you want to, a tiny Raspberry Pi. So yeah. For the following code, IO dir CWD. I don't understand why I need to pass IO instance to create file. It doesn't matter what kind of implementation that I use. No, it does matter, because creating a file is a blocking syscall. You know what? Actually, I might be wrong. I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe that there are blocking and non-blocking versions of the syscall used to create a file. Maybe we can take a look. What does... actually, no, I think we know that for sure, right? I'm guessing the create file... let's take a look at what the event loop does for create file. So what do we do for create file? What do we call? What do we call? What do we call? Yep, we submit to IO URIng. So to answer your question, no, creating a file needs IO, because sure, there is a blocking version of the API, but you can also have a non-blocking version of the same thing through IO URIng at the very least. There might be other things that give you non-blocking, but IO URIng also is non-blocking. So at the very least, that is one reason why. Now you might be wondering, why does CWD does not need IO though? Save 8 bytes and gain an interesting food gun. Give it a different one. and a minor annoyance of having to pass it in, but I see the point. The annoyance, I mean, we're used to this in Zig, the annoyance, yeah. The foot gun, honestly, not really. The reality is that you're not almost ever going to have more than one IO implementation happening at the same time in your system. It is not a hard rule. The fact that it is in an interface means that you can create more than one. You can instantiate more than one IO interface, but it is absolutely not the norm. So normally you only have one IO implementation running around, and it's not really much of a foot gun. Yeah. But, you know, in any case, that extra work is worth it. It's worth it to make perfect software. It's worth it if you aim to make software that tries the hardest to be good and resource efficient. That's why you go through all this pain. You do it for your users. You know, it's like in The Simpsons. Do it for her. I don't know if you've seen that episode. I guess there is an async syscall to write file then, like a non-blocking syscall to write a file. Of course, yes, there are. There are actually plenty. And in any case, all these syscalls can, like all these operations can be performed through IO ORing. So not everything, like not every syscall that your OS has an IO ORing equivalent, but a very long list of those are available through IO ORing, and so that makes them non-blocking. But then there's also, on top of that, there's also other mechanisms. So, yeah. What is CWD really? Is it real path dot? I do not think so. As far as I remember, CWD is something that you actually get access, that your process has access to in its own memory. So, like, your process knows its current working directory because the OS gives it that information right away. So you don't make a syscall to access your current working directory. You know what? Maybe we can take a look at the implementation, I guess. It is literally called CWD. So let's see. On Windows, you have to look into the PEB. I don't know what PEB stands for. Process Environment Block. There we go. So it's it's a piece of special memory. So I guess you need assembly to look into that thing. On WASI, who cares? On Linux, file descriptor is POSIX.at.fdcwd. So the current working directory on Linux is a hard-coded number. Come on, give it to me. fdcwd. -2 is the current working directory file descriptor. On macOS and company. FreeBSD -100. NetBSD -100. Dragonfly. This OpenBSD -100, Haiku -1, Solaris, Mscripten, WASI we don't know, or we do, or do we? Wait, fdcwd. If built-in link libc -2, else 3. When linking libc, we follow their convention and use -2 for the current working directory. However, without libc, Zig does a different convention. It assumes the working directory is the first pre-open. This behavior can be overridden with a public function called wasicwd, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then Serenity. Serenity has -100. Wait. So we don't have Windows because it has a different thing. What does... Oh, there we go. Linux. Linux.at. Linux has -100. So long story short, CWD doesn't require a syscall. Doesn't require any communication. It's something that you know because the OS tells you at process startup. Kind of like it tells you, well, because it's a file descriptor that gets opened already for you for free, right? Kind of like standard in, standard out. That said, here's another interesting point on this, though. Even though I just said that getting this current working directory doesn't require a syscall, so it doesn't need I/O. Here's a second point that is interesting. You might want still to have CWD go through an I/O implementation, because that allows the I/O implementation to capture what you're trying to do and lie about it. Like, let's say that you're having you're doing tests, right? You're doing tests, and also covering CWD would allow the I/O implementation to basically fake the entire file system. That's what I'm trying to say. Because it has control over file creation, file opening, writing to files, reading from files. It has control over everything. And if you give it control also over, file system navigation, then it can basically fake an entire file system. If you don't do that, like if you don't allow CWD to have, if you don't wire STDFS CWD through I/O, then that mocking can't happen. And I don't know. I don't know if Andrew is interested in supporting a use case or not, or to what degree. Is there a map in I/O URING? Good question. I don't know the answer, but I don't think so. Let's see. There isn't. Might be added in the future, though. Huh. Curious. Okay. So, any other questions about async? Let's see on YouTube what people are saying. From what I understood, having two I/O implementations in the same program would also be slower because the compiler cannot do the virtualization, right? The compiler would be able to do the virtualization also with two instances. The problem is you don't want that, because that creates two copies of everything. So it really copies everything. And so you want at that point the virtual calls. That said, as far as performance hit goes, we'll see how much that takes. I guess depending on what you're using async for. Like if you're using async not for computation, but you're using it mainly for actual I/O, then having an actual vtable with function pointers might not even make much of a difference. But I don't know for sure. Okay, so that was it. If anybody has other async questions, feel free to ask. I'm gonna put it here. There we go. Oh, I feel like it needs one extra star. Maybe two? No, one extra star. I think one extra star is perfect. Seems well centered. Okay. So what I'm gonna do next? I think I'm gonna continue my my work on Zine. I'm gonna take a very quick bathroom break, and then we're gonna send PRs and continue the work on Zine. So yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, what are we doing? Here's what we're gonna do. So we updated Zine yesterday. Let's see. Git remote verbose. We have origin and fork. We want to git switch dash b writer gate. What am I doing? It's git checkout dash b, huh? Git status. Show me the diff. So we changed these to API because using namespace is nothing anymore. Put a couple root modules, that's fine. Legacy header, it's not read struct, now it's take struct. FCD mem equal. Also, look, it almost looks like we don't need a copy. It almost looks like we could keep this as a pointer, like take struct reference. I don't know if that would make a big difference or not. In any case, we don't need to do the beginning thing anymore. Also, so header.magic. So we read this. I think we might have broken the logic a little bit because we read the struct in big endian mode. And then we read the magic bytes and they need to look like tzif. And then here we were doing the swap. Oh, but we were swapping header counts. I think we might have not done the logic correctly. Jacob Lee, you had opinions yesterday and I was too boiled to reason about this stuff much. But reading the code, it seems to me that oh, that's what we were doing. We are reading. No, wait. No. Here we are always reading in big mode. Was the old read struct reading always in big mode? You know what? I think I need to understand what old read struct did. I feel like I really need to do this. Okay, read struct does a read according to native endianness. Like it does not do anything about endianness. It just reads the bytes as they are and interprets them as we like them. Oh, I think I get it though. I think what's happening here is that these, we only need to swap around things that are like numbers, because a string is still an array list and it doesn't have ordering, right? You should look at the extract. Yeah, sorry. The problem is right now is that I'm trying to remember exactly what the NDNS, how the NDNS impacts reading things from memory. So if you're reading with the wrong NDNS, you will interpret numbers the wrong way. You will interpret fields also maybe the wrong way. Yeah, but here's my point. Okay, here's my point. The original code was doing this stuff before the swap. So are these operations not affected at all by us always reading? Yes, these are U8 swapping and does nothing. Okay, fair. Yes, that's exactly the kind of stuff that I wanted to make sure to think about. Okay. Okay. So what we're doing, we're fixing this function signature. Read byte becomes take byte. Read int becomes take int. Read no EOF becomes read slice all. Blah blah blah. Read byte take byte. Read byte take byte. Read until the limiter into buffer. Instead we do take sentinel. Site.zig, we are creating a buffer. File reader from that. Passing down the interface to parse. This seems all great. Okay, I think we did a good job. Match around quote. No. Is it the minimum version? I do not remember. Minimum Zig version. $10.48. I'm not sure if it's important, but you change the behavior when take sentinel returns more than 100 bytes. The original buffer was 14 bytes, so I suspect that thing is expected to be small. Do you see Zig growing like no to tell you that you had the field name backwards? Somehow I doubt that. Somehow I doubt that that's going to be the case. I was suggesting yesterday to do if slice len greater than n. We're talking about this part here, right? The CD original one. Okay, it wasn't 14. It was 128. Never mind. You said, wait a second. So read until the limiter was filling this thing. This one is take sentinel. Oh, because the string too long is right. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna add this. Let me just write this in the meantime. I'm gonna do the NDNS conversion. NDNS conversion. Number 2. At some, well, maybe we can be more precise than at some point in tz info parse. Buffer with me. Buffer has been changed to instead return directly temporary slice to buffer memory. This should preserve the original logic while also avoiding a unnecessary copy. Third point. Where is this? Inside.zig, but where precisely? In load time zone. Also, wait a second. The diff shows that this thing wasn't buffering shit. Okay, more. Using namespace, and then what else did we do? I think that was it, right? That should be pretty much it. We need to do the fix that Jacobly was pointing out, but in terms of changes, that was it. Okay, let's go make that change. So in time zone, take slice. Oh god, I mean, where is take slice? No take slice? Okay, am I going insane? What was the thing called? Take sentinel. Oh. Okay. So we were saying foot mem, stream too long, blah, blah, blah. Here, if footer mem.len greater than 124, return error dot overcharge footer 128. Wait, oh, so that was 124 and that's supposed to be 124. Read more than 124, much larger than any reasonable POSITZ string. Okay, POSITZ string. So wait, was this an arbitrary decision that Rocco Rager made because he wanted a local buffer and he really didn't care about stuff? Also, shouldn't we have an assert that hey Rocco Rager, yes, I'm sending you a PR to post WriterGate stuff. Pick Sentinel, take delimiter. There's a something small. I want to see the small one. Don't lie to me. There was something small. Zig is now lying to me. There was some kind of function that had small in the name, and was it in Writer then? I think it was one of the take functions. String delimiter ending appends content reading the string until the delimiter is found, does not write to the delimiter itself, returns the number of bytes string, which may be 0 if the string reaches the end. Blah blah blah. Oh, string delimiter limit. Wait. Oh, but stream wants a writer. What am I looking at? The stream ones are not for us. Delimiter inclusive, delimiter exclusive. Discard the delimiter limit. Then why do we have take delimiter limit? I think that one is missing, no? Okay, we can do this. To do let's see, but you're implicitly limited. Yes, that's the next point that I wanted to make. You are implicitly limited by that, and I agree. But at the same time, I mean, we have this problem, right? That it would be nice to be able to do this more succinctly. And this brings me to the next point. I think at this point, we need to assert that we have at least 124 bytes in our buffer, shouldn't we? Actually, you know what? Maybe this should even have a minimum number of bytes or something to have an assert on that. It was 128. Wait, did I fuck up the number? So did I do the number completely backwards? Yeah, I did the number completely backwards. Thank you. Okay. Should we put an assert somewhere about this? Where do we put an assert about this? Parse block. Gets called 3 times. Parse block, parse block. Who's the third one calling parse block? Wait. Never mind, it gets called 2 times. So I think in here we should do the assert. Why do you assert buffer length? Oh, you just do dot buffer. What do you mean it's since being axed? I think I was in master branch and I pulled, or main branch, whatever, in your default branch and I pulled. Isn't this stuff new? I was in main and I did pull. Did I not pull? Not upstream, it's origin. Shit, did I not pull from your stuff? Oh, taken out of STD. I see. Maybe we're fine. Maybe it's not that bad. Needed by parse block. Okay. So I guess we have 2 choices now, right? We can put this assert in a far from where it's needed, but then it gets called only once, or we can put it close to where it's needed, but then it gets called needlessly multiple times. What poison should we pick? I don't know. I mean, it's not going to be it's not going to be present in release mode, but here is better for future refactoring. I agree. People are not going to remember to change that up there. This looks good. Either assert +1 for the Sentinel or expect 1 less. Because the Sentinel also needs to go in the buffer. Oh, you're right. It needs to be because we're doing Sentinel. This one returns also the Sentinel, so it wants the Sentinel to be there. That is a fair point. Let's do 127, yes. So we should be good, right? Kanji Nakamoto. I haven't touched Zig for the past 4 years, but I've been following and sponsoring scenes. Let's go. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Newbie question. Is there a good read to see a simple HTTP GET call example in current and next async IO syntax? The answer is no. Or rather, there is an HTTP client in the standard library currently, so pre-async IO rewrite, and you can use it. Maybe you will find information on the internet on how to do that, but honestly, at the top of my head, I can't think of any. I think there might be. I haven't written one myself, so I don't know for sure. But in any case, that API is going to change. Because not just because Async IO is coming and that's going to change some things, but also because the HTTP client, I believe, has been rewritten almost entirely, if not entirely, by Andrew. Or if he hasn't done this yet, he will do it. So in any case, the new HTTP client post Async IO will be different, not just because of the Async IO, but also because Andrew is going to rewrite it. So, and there's no information about that because, you know, this stuff still has to happen. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But did they add? God damn it, I didn't add. I changed one number which didn't help. God damn it. You're right. So this needs to be 128, right? No, yeah, 128. This means that this needs to be 127. I mean, so this needs to also hold the Sentinel. Honestly, keeping this 128 is not a problem, though. I mean, yes, there is a case where somebody passes in a 128 buffer. What happens? That we fill it completely. Well, I mean, it shouldn't be UB, right? Because the problem, if the string is 128 bytes long and then there's the Sentinel afterwards, then it's going to be string too long here. You will get different behavior. Will I? I think I'm going to get over large footer no matter what. Well, in any case, this should be fine, right? Let's see, for a 129 byte buffer and a 128 string followed by the delimiter. Okay, let's see. This is going to pass. So this is going to be happy. Then we read this and we read a 28 byte string. Oh shit, we read it. And then we don't have a complaint, so we go here. And this is gonna see that we have a 128 byte string and it's not going to complain. With a 128 buffer, we're gonna do string too long. Yeah, I get it now. This should be fine though. That casing on the arrow name. Again, really? Wait, over large footer? Oh god. Thank you. So this should be it. Actually, let's check if we zig build. Do we Zig build test? Shit, we don't. We never fix tests. I guess we should fix tests, shouldn't we? Huh? Let's fix tests. um. No buffer. Oh, but this is gonna panic. Wait, this is not even a test. So let's do 4096. I thought this was for a test, but no, this is oh, here this is what we did earlier. Okay, next. Oh my god. Okay, I see. It's not keeping the change. It says the other reader found FS file reader. Oh, yeah, we need to do also the other stuff. Right. Uh, 48. There we go. What is this line here? Oh, 50. Oh, wait. Okay, there we go. Wait, so I can do this also? Ah. Cool. Oh, this branch has conflicts in build.zig. Interesting. There we go. Oh, they fixed it by removing it before? No, come on, guys. That's evil. We can keep the functionality. Copy. What did I copy specifically though? The branch name. Okay, cool. Okay. So with this, I can go in Zine and I can say instead of a local Zite, in zig fetch Christopher T Zite slash pound sign writer gate. Perfect. What is the next thing that we need to fix? Flow syntax. We can fetch, I believe. No, it needs fixes, I believe. Yep. Okay. I think we don't need to say anything specific. Okay, so I can go in Zine now and say use this. Okay. I think that with this we have everything. So everything here uses non-local stuff. Let's check that everything else is also fine. Scripty. Get the zone file. Good. Ziggy. Zone file. Good. Quit. Come on. Super HTML. Zone file. All good. Super MD. All good. That's pretty much it. So we're good. So zone file is fine. Oh, here, minimum zig version. It's gonna be this one. Do we have CI updated to mlugs v2? No. Update to mlugs v2. For people who don't know, if you update to set up Zig v2 from mlag, you don't need to specify the Zig version anymore in the CI script, and it can take the CI version, the Zig version needed from your zone file. So you basically have only one place where you need to specify this stuff, and you don't need to copy paste the thing in multiple places. Now here's the problem. Oh shit, I might have sent bad PRs out. Don't think about it. The problem is that is this bad boy going to be available on CI? It's not right now. It's not. God damn it, because it's still building. So I should probably point this out. Just no, we want to go to www. What am I doing? Oh, really? So it's just. Okay. And we probably want to say the same to Rocker Rager. Okay, so we did our duty as good open source citizens. We told upstream about everything that they needed. We fixed our own dependencies. We could push this. The problem is that this is not gonna work. But still, who can stop us? Let's do Zig build just to check that everything works. Uh-oh. Error file not found. Oh god, these are like weird. Wait, this is Zig 1 build also. Okay, test. That also runs. That was quick. So we are good. What do we want to do next? We have bugs to fix in Zine. So let's take a look at the Zine repository and see what people were complaining about. I also have some complaints on Discord, so I'm going to look at those as well. Okay, let's take a look at Zine. Have 5 PRs. Fix linking of resulting Zine binary. So this is an Nix. Oh my god, this is a Nix problem. I need to decide what to do with Nix. Fix error when loading assets with serve. When looping through assets to load, output path and input path for the asset from the command line arguments when running from the build.zig. With a setup above, this should be something like build.zig, example wasm, output always static example wasm. Therefore, output path and input path. Yeah. When you try to access example wasm, the server crashes with file not found. Looking further in CLI serve, output path. This should be the input path. Yeah, that looks like very straightforward bug. Yeah. That makes absolutely total sense. Okay, so then there's the flake stuff. Now, was this what people were complaining about? We auto stash? Yes. Cool. So Matt was having trouble. Let's see if this new Zine still causes trouble. So this is the stuff that they have. The branch is dynamic getting started. We have this stuff. So Zig1 build release fast. Actually, you know what? Let's build a debug build so that we can get more panics in case there's any. Okay, Zig1 build, we built micro zig git pull, yeah, website, and then Zine. Oh, and then we get an error. Okay, let's see. Script result type mismatch. We are doing an href of a build asset called data.json. And we're saying unknown build asset data.json. Which makes sense, see? Which makes sense. Have you heard of Jujutsu? I heard, never used it though. Okay, so this error makes sense because we are running Zine directly. And so when running Zine directly, we pick up on the zine.zig, on the zine.ziggy. So we know this stuff, but we don't know anything about build assets because there is no build happening. So here there is a build happening, and this is what generates these files. Also, there's a... Oh god, there's an error. Okay. Hopefully this is the only one. Where's Zine? Oh, I mean micro zig build.zig. Never mind. This is the wrong one. This is the one that we care about. Okay. So this time the build asset is defined in both cases. So this is correct. Okay. So here's what we can do with Zine. I think in Zine website, I don't think this is going to be necessarily a fix though. Here's what we do. Local Zine. This should be better. Almost. Oh, because we're in repros, right? Oh no. Oh no. Okay, let's do zig build with the old one. Wait. Oh, because I have 0.15. Zig up. Default 0.14.0, I guess. So this is gonna... Yeah, this is not happy with Zine. So here's what we can do. Keep the old Zine, but in here, no definition found. God damn it, ZLS. Right, it's because I'm using Zig1 with ZLS. I'm not using Zig, so it doesn't like that. But in here, we can say, yeah, we can say Zine equals dot path. And this is gonna use the CLI Zine. Let's see. This works. What was Matt saying? I'm not seeing it in this install directory. Okay, so server doesn't matter. Release? Oh, it just goes in zig out, right? This way. And he's saying that he has installed always, right, on What am I doing? Data.json, and it should go inside the static / data.json. But we're not doing it. I mean, not even with the newest Zine, this is correct. What is happening? How did we regress build files, like static assets, build assets, sorry, so badly? Let's go inside root. Function run. So it's near the end that we do installation of build assets. If not, parse errors, blah, blah, blah. Alternatives. Install site assets. First start install assets. So install variant assets. Install site assets. Where is install build assets? Where is install build assets? Wait, we do something with build assets before. I'm confident of that. But did we really then forget about them like entirely? Is this really it? Let's see, static assets errors. Okay, so we check for static assets, and what do we do with them? Let's see, we look at the build configuration. If it's a site, which is our case right now. Okay, we start sites, we start multilingual, scan templates, scan site assets. There we go, build CFG, get static assets. Subpaths in assets their path that will be installed unconditionally. Oh shit, these are not build assets. In any case, these are not build assets. Static assets are not build assets, right? Static assets are normal assets that we decide should be installed unconditionally in the config file. This ain't it. This ain't it. So where is this stuff? Multilingual site. Where do we get build assets? It's part of the config, I think. We do not ignore these things, that's for sure, because I remember parsing them. Yeah, look at these guys. So here's a build asset. And where do we have build asset? Inside options, because these are the CLI stuff, right? Hello, Lemon. I am fixing a embarrassing bug in Zine related to build assets. So we have options. Wait, here we define them, but this is not where we parse them. If install always, output always. That's the flag. And we do check for this stuff in here when we parse CLI arguments in our command. Okay, so our command contains build assets. And this is the release command. But the same is true for serve. Okay, but for now we care more about release than the other one. So in release, what do? We call run and we pass in build assets. We pass them in options. Okay. We call build.load. We check for drafts twice. When we do build load, what do we do in build load? We look at all the directories. We switch mode. If we are in disk mode, we create public, we create installed dir, right? And then we move everything around. And so we return build assets. So our build has build assets inside. Yes. As a string array hash map unmanaged. Yes. Okay. So then we don't even need that to console that maybe even anymore, because we can do a linear scan if we want to. Whoops. So near the end, so here's what we want to do. If we're not in memory mode, if we are in memory mode, we stop here after the local composition. We don't do any flushing. This one flashes stuff. So install site assets. Yeah, we're kind of missing install build assets, aren't we? We're kind of missing that, aren't we? So install output always build assets. So options, build assets. Oh, even in options is a string array hash map unmanaged. Okay, interesting. Then let's use build. Dot values gives us a slice of build assets. And then we do if va dot install always, output always. Yeah. If output always, if the reference counting is 0, How does it work? Wait, do we really not do any reference counting in here? Okay, what can you do on this guy? Oh, you do load. Oh, by the way, wait a second. When we are parsing this stuff in here, are we a reference count? Are we doing silly things to reference counting? Int from bool output always. We put their reference counting to 1. That is so fucking dumb. No, this goes to 0. This goes to 0. And we need to do the same also in the other case, I think. No. In the other case, we don't. Actually, no, it can be 0 also in that case. I'm gonna check that later. Okay. I don't know what orderings we are using. 222. Hello, Ains. Acquire release, I guess. So if it's RC load, and acquired, what's your problem? Oh, right. Greater than 0. No, sorry, if it is equal to 0. Then we do this. We do update file. Build site assets there dot update file. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever directory is fine. Source path. Path. What's it called? Input path. Input path. And the output path, destination path. Site assets installed there. Which is correct, I think. What is here? If it's a site, oh, it should be this one in any case for us. Oh, what am I doing? Here. Do we assert this output path? Do we assert that this output path dot question mark? I think we can check for that stuff when we're parsing. Like input needs to be an absolute path, or we do it off CWD. I think we should do off CW installation. We should do everything off CWD. Yeah. No, CWD is wrong. What do we have in here? Only installer? Shit. Base there. I think it should be base there. Yeah, build base there. God damn it. Here. Okay. That should be it. Done installing assets. That was fast. That was a bit too fast. What? It did not work. This is saying zone info. Oh, I have normal zone info. Find dash size 8192C. What does that do? Uh-oh. Fine. Illegal option dash dash I. I think my find sucks on macOS. What am I supposed to do? Hey, Andrew. Having fun? Oh, yeah, we're having fun. Like, porting is done. PRs, 2 other projects are done. Oh, sorry. Okay, so your point was, okay, there are some time zones that are over. Wait. What is your problem? No. Wait. What does it matter? That is a buffer for reading, but it doesn't have to hold the entire thing at a time. That buffer is not required to hold the entire file at a time. It's just so that whenever you do a single byte read, you're not doing a syscall and you're reading from that. The only thing that that buffer needs to be big enough for is contiguous reads that you want to do. By the way, Andrew, since you're around, you might be interested in looking at one use case that we were dealing with earlier about the reader API. Send a message to confirm that you're still around and you didn't like get up to get tea or do something else. Okay, you're around. Cool. So check this out. Okay, so here's what we're doing. We're parsing a file. And to parse a file, we have a some kind of header that we know ends with a new line, and we expect it to be shorter than 128 or 128 bytes. So we call take sentinel on it. And if it's too long, then we complain. Then we get stream too long, and then we complain with overlarge footer. But the problem is that this API doesn't allow us to say it's not take sentinel like limit. We can't say, look, we want to take, but we want to take up to these many bytes. I don't know if that's a variant that, or like another thing that you think would make sense to add. But in any case, what we ended up doing, since previously this was a read read, what was it? Like read no EOF, something like we could specify a limit. Now we can't anymore. And so now we have to check afterwards. So I guess it can be done. It's not the end of the world, but it works. Also related to this, we're asserting manually that buffer length is at least 128 in order to allow us to do this as we want. So I don't know if it would make sense to have not only max but also min, or at least min, so we can assert on it. Anyway, this is, or maybe there's another API that we should be using for this specific use case. So I don't know. This is something that I encountered while upgrading Rock Rager's stuff. Okay, I'm assuming that you read the code and you, okay, think if you need the code to see the code, let me know. Or in any case, it's a PR on RockoRager/Zite. I'm gonna return to my stupid bug in Zine. So I have to say, this Zig1 build being this fast is extremely suspicious. And it's doubly suspicious considering the fact that this Zig build doesn't do what it does, what it should. Doubly suspicious if I can say that. You know what? We're clearing cache and everything else. Permission denied? You son of a bitch. Oh, this might be part of the problem. Why are we having permission denied? I think I might have some Zine running around in the background or something. Not in this window, not in those windows as well either. So I did have some stuck Zig in the background. What? Anyone want to suggest a project to try to get working? Which Zig you're on? Leave axis, of course. Oh, you're tracking master. Okay. We're not doing it. What the heck? Okay. Let's take out the big guns. We're bows. Let's see. Do you already play with the Arch event loop? Oh yeah, I did. Look, it was surprisingly boring. It just worked first try. So also I'm having the weirdest bug in the virtual machine. I made the mistake of upgrading my software, and look, now my mouse cursor, I have to fight to make it go north. This is such a dumb bug to have. Come on, man. Just go. Okay, so if I needed to take more momentum. Come on, go all the way to the top. Can I guess I can choose between weird mouse and where is it? Keyboard and mouse, Christoph. Never optimize mouse for games. So I guess with this, I should have normal mouse. But then scroll wheel doesn't work. What a What an annoying compromise. In any case, this worked first try, like no question. I answered a bunch of some questions in chat, and yeah, and that was it. It just works. The only thing I did was delete some debug printing, and that was it. Just to reduce the spam. Yeah, but it totally worked. Upgrading Z breakages is great when all you have to do is merge PRs. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, let's see what we're doing. Let's see. Build asset data.json. The fact that we're not quoting this is slightly worrisome, but should be fine. So this is the name. This is the input path. And output always says static data JSON. Oh, now that I think about it, it's even getting linked. Oh, you know what? Okay, I think I get it. The problem is this. We want to do this check because nobody else does this for us. Okay, now I get it. I think I'm going to be able to fix this. What was it? Output always. Let's see, you could use string delimiter limit to get a similar API as before. Not sure if I recommend it though. Why the additional length checked along with buffer size limit? The additional length check was there in the originally, but I suspect it was motivated not by correctness, but rather because Rocco Rager was hardcoding a small buffer in here of 128 bytes. So, so the upper limit is probably not important. In reality, probably we could make do without it. Although, you know, maybe in another situation you're parsing, expecting a sentinel, but then you also want an upper bound. That said, you do get an upper bound from the buffer, I guess. Like the buffer itself provides an upper bound, so a sane upper bound, so you should be good with that. You're right, the upper bound is probably not necessary. The lower bound maybe could be nice, so that you get the assertion for free. Let's see. A suggestion is remove the assertion and allow the user selection of buffer size to determine the max line length. That's fine, but this assertion is not for the max line length. This assertion is for the mean line length. We are asserting that the buffer is big enough to hold what we assume is a reasonable value for the footer, reasonable length, sorry, for the footer. So I agree that maybe removing this line could be fine because at least based on what we see here, there doesn't seem to be a spec reason to forbid longer names, or longer footers, whatever a footer even is. But the mean size is necessary. Because, right, because if somebody gives us a buffer, like a, I don't know, 10 bytes buffer, in my opinion, put reasonable value in the docs as a suggestion and let the user decide. Okay. To be fair, in this case, the user is actually ourselves because the user, we're not asking for a buffer to anybody. It's another function that defines the buffer. But if we assume that this file format usually wants to have, like, I don't know, 20, 40 bytes long names normally. So you would not put an assert on that stuff? Just communicate it verbally in a document. Because you say reasonable value, which is a term that I used when defining the upper bound. So from a perspective of an upper bound, I'm on board. But from the perspective of a lower bound, I do think that we should request programmatically, at least with an assert, that the lower bound should be respected. With a lower bound that we consider reasonable based on, well, since the spec doesn't, let's say that the spec says that that names can be long up to 100 bytes, or like up to 127 bytes. Then this, I think, would make sense. In this case, it's not the spec that says that. In this case, I believe it's Rocco Rager choosing a reasonable number for the lower bound, not the upper bound. Yeah, okay. Okay, cool. Well, Rocco Rager, if you're around and listening, then yeah, maybe consider removing this, because to be fair, I kept it because we were trying to keep the original behavior. Actually, no, I didn't keep it. I wasn't thinking about it. Jacob Lee pointed out that without this check, we were not maintaining the original behavior. We were changing it. But in hindsight, it is fair to take this out, because you don't seem to have yeah, because you don't seem to have a real reason to want to limit it to 127. But keep the assert, because that way you know, if somebody decides that it's to be clever and pass in a super small buffer, then it's gonna get caught. Want to modify your PR? God damn it! Yes, I can modify my PR. There you go. If you want an argument for no assert, smaller assert, maybe an embedded app uses this and needs to conserve every possible byte. And they're fine with limiting line lengths more. Yeah, that's fair. Although, you know, in this case, the problem is the problem is that in this here you need some length maybe for correctness. Okay, you know what? Maybe this is not the case because this thing is a footer. I don't know what it is. But let's say that we're reading a time zone name out of the file, and we need the time zone name so that we can, you know, check if that's the time zone that we want, and otherwise keep looking into the file, for example. So in that case, we would need a minimum size for correctness. But you're right. But what if we don't have enough memory? Then you would want probably to, what the heck you would want to do at that point? I guess you would need to basically do the comparison in a streaming manner. I don't know. That seems out of scope. But okay, I think in this case, this choice is fine. Let's see, the upper bound will be naturally set. Yeah, I know. I was just thinking, generally speaking. not specifically to this real thing. Let's see. I don't remember the reader buffer provided to parse block. I think I need to git pull the base. Failed to push some refs. Why? But I did pull. Git? What is going on? Didn't I pull from my... Wait. I pushed on my fork. What? Just to pull from remote fork, but did not specify a branch. So is this like fork slash writer gate? But also I did it earlier and it didn't complain. Oh no, it did complain. You asked to pull from fork, but did not specify a branch. Okay. For your current branch, you must specify a branch on the command line. No, I can't force push because there's a conflict that I merged remotely. Fork slash writer gate. Wait, did I just typo it? Look, okay, it's perfectly aligned. I did not typo it. There is just no way. Oh, I did typo it earlier. So that's how it worked. Git push fork. There we go. Did it work? Yeah, don't worry about this. This is not meant to hold the entire file. This is just a buffer used for reducing the number of syscalls. There you go. As I said, be careful because I don't know if you have CI in here. Let me check. But yeah, test. You're gonna need a version of Zig that. Also, by the way, holy shit, you're still stuck on 0.13. Here's another thing that you can do. Switch this to V2, remove the hard-coded version, and what happens is that setup Zig will automatically search for which version of Zig to use from your zone file. And here you don't have this defined, but in my PR, files changed. If you look at the zone file, I also added a minimum Zig version. So it will automatically try to do this. The problem is this. The problem is it will work, but CI will fail because that version of Zig is not available in CI right now, unfortunately. But it's coming. It should be coming. Actions. It's coming. We're 6 hours in. About 12 hours remaining. or no. It might be too optimistic. About 18 hours remaining before this is done. So it's gonna take a bit, but it's coming. Or you could just merge and let CI be unhappy for a little bit. I don't know. I sometimes do that. Who cares? Okay, Zine, what are we doing here? Did I fix it? I was changing things, so I think I did this right. I think I did this right. Zig1 build. He succeeded, so we can run again. We don't need verbose. 3 zig out. There we go. We have static data.json. Why is it taking 12 hours? No. That'd be Pranav. It is absolutely not taking 12 hours. It's taking 12 hours after the current 6 hours. So it takes 24 hours, more or less. Yeah, because it builds LVM an endless amount of times. So look at our releases page. You go to download. Check this out. Look at all these delightful releases. So Tarballs, fine. Then we have Windows, x86 64, Arch 64, x86, macOS. We still have Intel macOS. When is this thing dying? I think it's about time for this bad boy to die, or we're getting close to that. Then sorry, no, wrong side. Then Linux, yeah, 64, ARM 64, ARM 32, RISC-V, PowerPC, Little Endian. Why no Big Endian? Does Linux not support PowerPC Big Endian? Cringe. I genuinely do not know. 32-bit, x86, Long Arch, S390X, and then FreeBSD and NetBSD. That is a ton of stuff. It's a bake time. I don't know what a bake time is. What do you mean by bake? Or just different platform releases that's taking this long? No, these are all different platforms. Every time you do a different, every time you build for a different platform, you need to build Linux. Sorry, you need to build Zig and different times. And apparently you also need to build LLVM. Wait a second, Andrew, why are we building LLVM every single time and not reusing a build of LLVM? We're doing the full bootstrap, I guess. Oh, testing that ZigCC can build LLVM. But that sounds like testing. Not like building. So could be put somewhere else. You can't reuse x86 64 LVM on R64. No, I mean that part I understand. Yes, of course. What I'm saying is, why can't we reuse x86 64 LVM in a subsequent x86 64 LVM? Sorry, in a subsequent run. Which would require to do, I guess, work every time that LVM changes. But wait, didn't we have pre-built versions of LVM? Like there was uploaded somewhere. In any case, I guess that the answer is that the reason why we do this, I'll let Andrew give the actual answer, but I'm guessing that probably something changes between different runs, potentially. I don't know. LVM patches, something else. Although I don't think that we maintain patches to LVM, so I don't know. I'll let Andrew reply. Okay, in the meantime, we fixed an truly embarrassing bug in Zine. We literally were missing code to install build assets. And these are not just output always, this is all build assets. Look, there is no mention of build assets anywhere, only here. Incredible. How could I forget this? Let's see, there's a lot of changes to the compiler that would affect the outcome, and it's a lot simpler to not introduce possibly broken caching that we have to bypass often. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. About to do poop. Why are you telling us, Andrew? Okay. I think we should make a release of Zine at this point. I think it's time. Deleted? Deleted? So we still have a ton of tests. We still have the snapshots, so this should not have regressed, but I'm surprised that we had this all this deleted stuff. Oh, wait a second. No, we did have deleted stuff, and that was because okay, no, that makes sense. So that was because we probably failed a build partway through that made us delete the snapshots, but then we did not recreate them, and that's why they were showing up as deleted files, which is sus. No, it was those are snapshots, so they're a committed file. The problem is that I think my Zig build, like the build script, got interrupted at some point, where it deleted all the snapshots before recreating them, and it never got to recreating them. So by running Zig build test, I fixed the snapshots again, and now they don't show up anymore as a modified thing because they should not be modified. Like this whole change that they made. This whole thing that they made should have only well, it shouldn't have changed the behavior, and it seems that it did not. So we pass also tests. I guess that's good. Okay. I guess we can go to Discord and explain to people what happened. Kind of embarrassing. We just were not installing them at all whatsoever. But now we do. Be careful. I also upgraded to WriterGate. If you have an older project that you want to fix, but also you don't want to have to upgrade everything, then you can do this. Yeah, you got roasted hard, huh? Well, you know what though? Look, here's what you can do next. Here's how you take this and you turn it into an even bigger win. The answer is you don't accept defeat. You implement errors for modifying variables and not returning them, like, and not using them. Well, not reading them, and then you do it again. You take the you do it once more, but this time you keep the the mutable variables, and then you do it again. Yeah, you double down. Okay, time to release. Enjoy watching my computer die. Actually, you know what? No, I'll keep this so you can see this. By the way, my mouse just does not want to move. It's completely dying. And here you get aged up. Enjoy. This is releasing Zine for a bunch of platforms. So we're building libc++. We're building compiler RTs. We're building woofs, right? We're building all this stuff because we have woofs. We're building also three-seater queries in the meantime. So we're building a bunch of hard stuff. Once we are done building three-seater and all these libcs, then everything else is going to be much easier. Oh, what was that window? What was that flash? Uh-oh. Rocco Rager, go to the front page of Lobsters. It should be the Topmost blog post. Well, I think we saw something flash at some point. I hope that this is not stuff erroring out. I have programmed in Elixir and 5 years back in C++/Java. I wanted to start programming in Zig, but didn't know where can I start. Any advice? Yes, go to ziglang.org. I would show you myself, but right now my computer is like struggling to exist. So, oh, it's 6th at this point. Wait, but that's is that Andrew's blog post? Because I think the roast one earlier was number 1. In any case, sorry, going back to your answer, ziglang.org has a learn section. In the learn section, you can find resources for things. Oh no, stuff is pooping itself. Okay, so our build is not succeeding. What is going on? I think we are successfully building some things, but not others. I'm not going to interrupt it because the things that are building correctly will build correctly, and we're going to be able to use them once we fix the things that are broken. So what was I saying? So yeah, go to ziglang.org. There is a learn section that contains links to official documentation, but also near the bottom there's like other online external learning resources, and you can use that to take a look at what is available out there. I think the most relevant things are Ziglings. Ziglings is a way of getting started super easy with Zig. So if you want the smoothest possible learning curve, Ziglings. If you want something more intense, just read the official language reference, and then there's also Zig Guide, zig.guide, that also tells you how to use Zig for a variety. It tells you how to solve a variety of use cases with Zig, so that I want to open a file. How do you do it? That kind of stuff. And then after that, try to tackle a type of program that you were never able to write before. So, for example, recently somebody was telling me that they wanted to try out do some audio programming, and they had never done it before. So that's one thing. Or something else could be a CLI tool of some kind. Maybe you re-implement something that already exists and then you use. Okay, something is going bad. LLD, undefined symbol, 3-seater YAML. Reference by TS query gen. Okay, I think we need to rebuild this and understand which targets are having trouble. I think every target has trouble except my native one. Is the Zig CI unstuck yet? It is unstuck, yes. It's unstuck. But it's gonna take a while more before this bad boy is done. So it's happening, but it will take some time. Okay, we're failing to build for every target. Except native. Uh-oh. What happened? Oh no. Neurosite. You know what I'm thinking? That maybe we failed to specify the target for certain things. The host system is unable to execute binaries from the target. Blah, blah, blah. Unable to spawn foreign binary. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Yeah. It should be built for the host, not for the target. I agree. And I needed to change that because the way that we were doing it originally wasn't working anymore. Oh, whoops. Whoops. So because previously this was what, build.graph dot something, but that information is not there anymore. Host. Wait, that information is there. The heck? Okay, is my PR still open? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna update my PR. You don't want to optimize either, leaving it as debug? Good question. Do we? How hardcore of a job is this guy doing? Should we debug? Okay. Okay. Yep, there we go. Seems that we fixed it. Or not. Oh shit, stuff changed for other targets in my Windows thingies. Cool. Okay, so what am I doing? Call convention Windows.Win API. Windows doesn't have Win API anymore. Oh no. So we're missing Windows.Win API. Oh, that seems to be mostly it. Zite? No, Zite is suffering from the same problem. Okay, so my Watcher and Zite are both suffering from that. .Win API, okay. Okay, about Zite, what's the state of that PR? Okay, still pending. Cool. No, what am I doing? Oh, Woofs also has the same problem. Okay. Really something about that post. I'm going to delete my nice reply and replace it with a mean one. Oh no. Oh, you mean the new post? Oh, are they changing the semantics of stuff by moving to consts? Is that a non-faithful replies? Oh wait, other stuff took its place, huh? Satire. Sorry, I need to survive the build first. Okay, we're zipping. Link warning. What is going on here? Get other info. WSA startup. Free other info. No, I think we need these guys. Uh-oh. I think we need these guys. I suspect that these warnings are a problem. So Windows failed. These other Windows failed. What am I doing wrong with Windows? What are we doing with Windows? We're not oh, you know what? We're not saying no, we're linking libc on all of them, are we not? Oh no. You have to specify system dependencies now. I mean, I guess we're not doing link libc, but I think wait a second, we were not doing link libc in here because some dependencies we're doing. I think we were kind of inheriting link libc from these guys. I think. I think this guy, they were specifying system dependencies, so that's why we didn't have to do it ourselves. What? Oh shit, so this is not just link libc? Oh no, how do I know what are these things? Oh no. Mm. That's a problem. So those are linker warnings. So they succeed at building the executable. They give you a warning, and now my build succeeds with silent without any problem because I have these artifacts in cache. That sucks. That kind of sucks. Yeah, I'm also building Twisted native for the local tool. That's funny. Okay. We're missing a ton of stuff. Get other info, free other info, WSA startup, WSA send, WSA get last error, IOCTL socket, set sock option, WSA socket, close socket, bind, listen, get sock name, accept, WSA receive from. We were suggesting earlier WS232. Okay. Oh, wait a second. What you're saying also is that we don't care about, we don't need to do it here, right? Wait, let me think about it for a moment. I guess this is, okay, no, it's fine. Okay, I get it. It's fine. So we can do Zine, XZ. Can I do it on the XZ? Yes, I can. And it goes to the root module, that's fine. Okay, link system library. This does not take any options, so I guess the name is enough. The other ones, is it just link libc? Well, I guess we can try. Why are you linking libc on Windows? I don't know because I don't know where these guys come from. No, sorry, not WSA. Accept, get sock name. Where are they coming from? I don't know. Close socket. I mean, they did look like libc function names. It shows where they come from. I mean, you mean in the source code? Yes. But what about the system library that I would need to link, assuming that it is not libc? Oh. Wait a second. I think I figured it out. Okay, so we should be good then, right? Because they all seem Oh no, let's look at this one. Yeah. Okay. Seems that we're good. Wait, was it not WS232? Yeah, it is WS232. We're good. Oh no. Warning undefined symbol. Wait, why am I back to square zero? Hmm. Suggestions? Let me start to see if I. Oh, you know what? That's on me. That's on me because I put it in release. Never mind. That's on me. I put it in the release target. Well, in the release step, but it didn't put it normally, and obviously I have to put it everywhere, not just in there. So this does need to be a property of the module correctly, not only this. So let's do it up here. How do we do it up here? Build, highlight scopes, script is operational, Ziggy, Zine, blah blah blah. Zine XZ, create module. Oh, we had this. Repeat it here. Okay. Let's see if we can browse the internet a little bit in the meantime. Despite being roasted, I'm happy to see this post. When I work at the backtrace, I attempted to write all my C code in this way, but the CTO insisted on putting all locals at the top of a function as variables. Oh no. That's when you have CTO 89. You need to upgrade to CTO 99. This really frustrated me, so it pleases me to see the culture shifting with posts like this. However, I have to call out the post a little bit for not showing the command used to compile the C code. Yes, you know what? When I was looking at it earlier, I was pointing out the same. They do not show this the C compiler invocation because by default this is not caught. Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, I assume so. Mm-hmm. Success! We build successfully. Okay, so we can now finally successfully release. Okay, let's do a release. Can ZXCC cache it by default? I doubt it. The problem, the point is that in the original post, Andrew ported it to Zig, and Zig FMT catches that. Like not even the compiler, just the auto formatter catches that. I think that if ZigCC did W error by default, then it would be unable to build what 80, 90% of the C projects out there. C++ projects, I would imagine it would be strictly impossible. Like 100% of the C++ projects and what 80% of the C projects would not build it anymore. Semantic analysis of Z code, having the ability to introduce new link inputs in the compilation pipeline, impose undesirable constraints on the compiler implementation. Mm-hmm. The music is just a relaxing piano live stream on YouTube. It's this one specifically, the one with the piano autofocus. I think if you search for this, you will find it like first result. Yeah, sorry, it's a live streaming in the sense that it's basically like a. If you think about it, it's like a crappy version of a web radio. It's like a web radio, just worse. But Google pays for it, so who cares, right? Okay, got my releases. So git push dash dash tags only pushes tags. I don't know, man. I don't understand this CLI design. What will this say? Ah, crappy changelog. By the way, it's very likely I accept an offer to become a software engineer today. It wouldn't have been possible without the Z community. Holy shit. Wait, okay, Rocco Rager. Double questions for you. Or you know what? Well, you're saying very likely, so maybe I won't pry on exactly what might be about to happen. But what were you doing before / what are you doing now? What is your profession? I think you might have told me and I forgot. I remember that you were not working as a software engineer, I think, but I don't know if I knew much more past that. Manufacturing, right? Chemical engineering by education and work on automation. Oh, nice. Okay, so is this stuff like what is it? What do you call it? Do you guys call it material science? That kind of stuff? I have a friend who studied material science. What are these pictures, dude? Like, just god damn it. Yeah, not strictly, but that's a huge part of chemical engineering. Understood. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, I think that my friend does a bunch of all kinds of work with rubber. Less than 3 years, my career was at 3M. Yeah, heard about these guys. They make glue. Okay, we need to make a release also for the website. So let's go to the website. Oh, not here. So we do this, then we do log. Wait a second, this date seems wrong. Did I fuck it up? I did totally fuck it up. This wasn't 422. This was something else. What was it? Last week. Can you be more precise than just last week, please? Last week. Oh, okay. There's a tooltip with the date. July 7th. Okay. For much of update apps. Disable fuzzing, update this. The next stuff I'm not gonna mention because I don't know yet exactly what I'm gonna do with that. Change name. Oh. Yeah, so I want this one. Well, which is basically this one. And okay, it's basically two things. Yeah. 162. Oh no. Have a nice day, Andrew. Okay, so we have written this. Now we want to modify two more things. We want to modify what we suggest to use on GitHub pages. 0.4 and Cloudflare. Okay, so using website. Whoops. We need to make a new release on GitHub for real now. Oops, here. Oh no, why is this not allowing me to publish the release? Because of this error? I mean, I get it, fine. I can't publish the release. What? This is a draft. Can I publish now? This fucking interface, man. Is this the right link? It should be, but this has not deployed because we didn't have that release. Go here, details, rerun it. With this, we should have a new release. Well, there we go. Okay, so now this is going up. 3 pull requests. Fix spelling grammar. What happened? Yeah. Oh, what was the last one? Learn. Yeah, thank you. New in config directory. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay. That explains it. No, I don't remember if John is using New Vim or not, though. Oh well. Okay. So we successfully made a release of Zine, and we successfully fixed our silly bugs. This is a success. This is a big success. It doesn't look sexy, but this is a big success. And we fixed also other people's code a bunch. And now that I think about it, woofs need to specify that it wants Windows access. And who else needs to do it? I mean, in the end, my code is fine, but woofs, a correctly updated woofs needs to specify that we want to link against the Windows stuff. That is indeed the keys. So let me take a look at woofs briefly. Curiosity build. What if we don't do this? And then we do zig zig1 build. Actually, just zig1 build without anything else. Let's see how that goes. That should be fine though. That should succeed. Okay, dash the target Windows. Oh, that unfortunately succeeds. Well, now that I think about it, I'm wrong. No, this does not need this code at all whatsoever. It's the usage code that needs it. Yeah, it's just the usage code that needs it. Okay, is the release out? Yes. Is it possible to get the duration between two dates? I don't think so. You can add a duration. You can subtract a duration, but you can't subtract two dates together. Okay, so I think here's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna stop the stream here because the main stuff that needed to be done today we did. So we successfully looked at the Async I stuff on Arch 64 and it just works beautifully. So there's pretty much nothing to say there. We did complete the work of upgrading Zine, fixing bugs that were reported. We did merge some PRs. So it was it was a good day of work. So I think I'm gonna stop here. Let me see if there's anybody else streaming any Zig. Nobody is doing it here. Nobody's doing it here. Let's look at the section. Yeah, no C++. No functional languages. No JavaScript. No C#. I should stop scrolling. I should just search for Zig. Huh. Okay, let's see. Wait a second. There's actually 2 streams that have Zig. That have a Zig tag. What the heck? Let me double check. What is going on? Habit tracker front end. Oh, but is this actually Zig? Is this Zig happening? Wait, why is there an eBoy tag to this stream? Am I going to send you all to a eBoy stream? I don't know. Making a VR game with no engine. There's a chair. But is this real Zig? Okay, I'm gonna investigate. Is this actually a Zig stream for real, or is this just a scam? Nope, I see Zig. You know what? I see Zig. I raid. Let's go. Go say hi.